So in this, it's basically like a talking circle of some sorts. There is a chair in the middle, and like they don't get into like they don't tell you why like you would sit in that chair or whatever, right? So this is a wild practice. So what they do is the teacher, the main lady that runs the school, she's like she teaches classes and does all this different type of stuff. She starts it off by letting people run their anger, right? So when they run their anger, they're saying like whatever is making them angry and frustrated with their classmates and their the people that go to the school. Whatever's making them angry, they let them kind of get it off their chest, right? Because this school, let me add to this, the school has like very strict rules about like interaction from student to student. Like there's no touching, like you can't hug each other, nothing, right? You know there's weird, and they got a student there that's like kind of like the snitch of the school. So like running your anger, this is your chance to kind of get out all your frustrations because you can't really yell and do too much. You can't hit nobody, can't touch nobody when you're in there. So like running your anger is where people are getting stuff off their chest. So not only so this is what happens though. So somebody says something about you, before you can say something back about them that frustrates you about them, you have to thank them for their feedback. Like you have to take a pause and which, in some ways that's like, okay, that's that makes you listen a little bit more as opposed to reacting. It slows you down a little bit. So, somebody could say the craziest thing about you though. It could be even offensive. And then you're supposed to say, and that's the problem with it. It's like it's not everything that they're saying is not constructive. If it was constructive, then it will make sense. But like some of the things that they're saying is like real rude and crazy. And then you have to thank them for their feedback, and then that gives you basically is like the talking stick or something that gives you permission to chime in. Now, what happens is though is like obviously this kind of process, this kind of therapy, this kind of circle makes people uncomfortable, makes people sad, makes people more angry. And then obviously if you do anything to like halt the process, like if you, like for example, there was a kid that like they're talking about one kid and he like kind of chimes in and he's trying to stop it, and he's like, stop. And then they said, oh, that's against the rules. Like you're preventing the process. So that's when they put you in the hot seat. And when they put you in the hot seat, everybody's allowed to say whatever they want to you, and they get even more personal, they get more disrespectful, they get more offensive, and like you're not even thanking them for their feedback, you have to take it. And and they beat you down verbally, emotionally, and verbally. They beat you down, what I'm saying, and you can't retaliate, you can't like throw blows with these people. And then the teacher tells the one character as they're witnessing him go through this hot seat and like it's getting really heated. He said he knows how to stop this, right? And so what you do to stop when they are berating you and they're saying the most offensive things, it's hurting your feelings, make you feel some type of way. The only way to get it to stop is like to admit that they are right, that everybody and what they're saying is correct, okay? And then obviously then the character, this character in particular, he has this crazy breakdown. And then this is the fucked up part, but then it gets weird, right? It gets really weird. And then what they do is like as you're at your lowest, right? And you're just feeling defeated and you accepted all this bad talk against you. Like you accepted it. You owned it. Then they tell you to converge, and then everybody comes in for the nastiest group hug ever. And why the reason why I say nasty is because everybody's crying, people with snot and sweaty and whatever. Not to mention, right? You could tell that these kids, right, these young people are starved for human interaction. That when they are touching each other and they converging and they're hugging and stuff like that, it gets a little bit hot and heavy, like to the point where like they're moaning and they're like really like it gets a little bit, yeah, it gets a little suggestive, and it made me uncomfortable when I seen it, and I was like, what the hell is that? So like fucked up, like really messed up stuff. They got weird counselors that used to be students there that are weird and messed up and the way they treat these kids and stuff. And so like it's definitely eye opening and like I'm kind of waiting to see where it kind of goes. I got a couple more episodes to watch through, but it is oh man, it's dark. Like there's some stuff in this show that's like really weird. All right, last thing about this show though. Now, I don't know how this is gonna land necessarily, right? So there's a character in this show, right? The character of Alex Dempsey, right? So as I'm watching this show, this show is supposed to take place like the story is takes place in 2003. All right, so this is where it gets weird to me, or this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So 2003, so it definitely appears that this is the couple that I was referencing, and I don't know if you noticed, I didn't say like certain thing. I didn't say any pronouns. But both they appear to be women, so you definitely feel that they are in a a same sex relationship, right? And of course they use the most gender neutral generic name ever, Alex. So Alex Dempsey. So you clearly see that this is a person that is with another a woman with another woman, right? Biologically, right? However, this person is a trans male, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, whatever. But like for me, it's like you trying to get me to believe that that was going on, like, or that would have been acceptable in 2003 because nobody bats an eye to it, right? They make one mention of it early on, but then from there on, they are affirming this character's masculinity the whole show, and it almost like they do it so much to the point where you're thinking like, wait up. Is the fact that the character is a trans male, is that part of the show exactly, or did they put a actor in there that is trans, and they just want us to believe that it's a man, right? Like they're just like it's a trans actor, and it's like all right, no, I'm not a trans male. I'm just a male. Like, and they want the audience to believe that, and I find out like no, the character is supposed to be trans, and there's a wild love scene in there that makes it like clearly that like all right, we got some things we need to iron out, and there's some things that's a little different, whatever. But like, I just think it's hard for me. It's just a I don't care that the character's there, but like that would make sense in 2025, right? It doesn't make sense in 2003. And for no one to like for them that character not to face any type of discrimination or any type of backlash or any type of side eye, for them not to experience that, and for everybody to be fully accepting of it, it just feels very utopian, kind of like the shit, kind of like the town, and it just don't make sense, whatever. So, but that's neither here nor there. But I'm can't wait to finish watching it. But like, check this out. This is a show that if you have not watched it yet, I want you to check it out. The next show I'm gonna be checking out is that Ed Gein story. I seen a little bit of it. I seen like the first like 10 minutes of episode, and it was wild. So I'm going to chime into that as well. But yeah, man, what are you watching right now? Let me know. Let me know what you're watching. The newest season of Hell's Kitchen is back, and so that's something that I watch with the family, and we be hyped. Yeah, I mean, we be hyped. My son particularly, man, he loves some Gordon Ramsay, and we be getting into all them shows. All right, but moving on. All right, last thing. I don't know if you've seen this clip here, but let's look at one of my former favorite players. He's not my favorite player no more. He's not my favorite player no more just because for various reasons because he's not on my team anymore. But take a look at this. All right, here we go. So this was the Pittsburgh Steelers versus Bengals game, right? So this is what happens late in the game here. So check this out. I think this was the game tying touchdown that gave them the lead then when they kicked the extra point. But let's take a look here.